A 20-year-old female student went for a run and disappeared without a trace. The whole country kept track of the search process, and the police couldn't find a single clue. The truth, revealed with the help of a surveillance camera, shocked all of America and gave rise to fierce controversy. Today, we will tell you the story of Mollie Tibbetts and what her disappearance led to. Mollie Tibbetts was born on May 8, 1998 in San Francisco, California. When she was in second grade, her parents divorced, and Mollie moved to Iowa with her mother and two brothers. But the father continued to maintain a close relationship with his children. After graduation, she enrolled in the Department of Psychology at Iowa State University. In her spare time, she worked in a day camp for children at the Regional Health Center. She led an active lifestyle, played sports, and had a lot of friends. On her Instagram, the link to which we'll put in the description, there are a lot of joyous photos, and her bio says, "This is a great day to be alive." She spent the summer of 2018 in a tiny town called Brooklyn, also in Iowa. Its area barely exceeds 1.9 miles, and only 1,400 people live there. It could seem that nothing terrible can happen in such a quiet place where everyone knows each other. On July 18, 2018, Mollie got ready for a run. In Brooklyn, she lived with her boyfriend, Dalton Jack, at his brother's house. In the evening of that day, she was in the house alone. Her boyfriend left for work to another city, 130 miles from Brooklyn. Mollie sent him a photo on Snapchat and went out for a run at about 7:30 p.m. Mollie was supposed to go to work the next day, but she never showed up. This really worried her relatives and her boyfriend. They all knew that the girl was extremely responsible and never missed work without saying anything. In addition, she didn't answer any calls or messages. As a result, her parents decided to contact the police, who started to search for Mollie. From the very first days, this case started to attract increasing attention throughout America. As for the residents of Brooklyn, the disappearance of a young girl was a real shock to them. Nothing like this had ever happened before in this tiny town. People never locked their doors and were sure they would be safe. Mollie's father, Rob Tibbetts, came to Brooklyn from San Francisco and took an active part in the search. He handed out leaflets with her photographs, questioned people, and tried to help the investigation any way he could. Her parents didn't lose hope that their daughter would be found safe and sound till the very end. 3 departments joined in the search for the girl: the Iowa Criminal Investigation Unit, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Poweshiek County Police. Together, they worked through more than 2,000 leads and interviewed about 500 people. They searched for Mollie throughout the whole of Brooklyn. At one point, the law enforcement officials received a message saying that Mollie was spotted at a truck stop in Kearney, Missouri, 236 miles away from Brooklyn. The police checked this information and couldn't find any confirmation of this. The police, as it always happens in such cases, tested the theory about the involvement of her boyfriend. According to the statistics, most crimes of this nature are committed by relatives or loved ones. But not this time. The guy had an indisputable alibi. He really was in another city and physically couldn't be in Brooklyn that evening. As time went on, the search for Mollie didn't give any results. The Criminal Investigation Unit had announced a monetary reward for any information that could help get them any leads and find the girl safe and sound. The amount of money offered as a reward steadily increased, and eventually reached $366,000. It was a lot of money, even by U.S. standards, and for the state of Iowa, they never offered a reward this big. At one point, the police said they were narrowing the search for Mollie to just a few locations around Brooklyn: her boyfriend's house, several local farms, a gas station, a truck stop, and a car wash. But none of this helped to find Mollie. The police received hundreds of leads, but none of them helped the investigation in any way. However, there was one moment that seemed really weird. The owner of one of the pig farms where the police concentrated their search was extremely reluctant to talk to the law enforcement officials. He denied any involvement in Mollie's disappearance, but refused to go through the lie detector test. All of this made him a perfect suspect, but there was no evidence against him. This meant that the police could neither interrogate the man nor conduct a search on the territory of his farm. As a result, the investigators didn't have any more leads to work through. The police tried to find at least some connection between the farm and Mollie's disappearance, but they didn't manage to do it, at least at that time. Everything changed on August 21st. A few days before that, one of the law enforcement officials told reporters that police had found the body of a young white woman. Of course, everyone immediately assumed that they found Mollie's body. And they were right. On August 21st, the police issued an official statement that Mollie Tibbetts' body was found in Poweshiek County, Brooklyn. Her parents identified their daughter. The investigators immediately noticed that she was missing two items that she always took with her: her smartphone and her fitness bracelet. Soon, a forensic expert released an official statement. The girl was attacked, and she had suffered several blows with a sharp object. This shocked Brooklyn residents even more. They all knew each other and couldn't even consider the possibility of some cruel criminal walking among them. The newspapers also published a lot about this story, making the whole of America talk about it. The case was solved pretty soon after all of this. Almost immediately after the body was found, the police arrested 24-year-old Christian Rivera, an illegal immigrant from Mexico who moved to the United States 7 years before this incident by bypassing the law. All this time, he worked on different farms, going by the name John Budd. The police found Rivera after looking through the footage from the cameras near the route where Mollie used to run. In the footage, they noticed a Chevrolet Malibu car driving back and forth on the road for no apparent reason. It's impossible to say with certainty how exactly the police got the confession out of him. According to the official version, Rivera immediately confessed to what he had done as soon as they came to question him. According to his story, he was driving past Mollie while she was running. He liked the girl, and he drove past her several times. Apparently, it was these movements that the police noticed on the surveillance cameras. At one point, he stopped the car, got out, and started running next to Mollie. At the same time, he started to verbally harass her, trying to win the girl over. Mollie didn't like this and threatened to call the police. When the girl reached for her phone, Rivera attacked her. After that, he threw her body in a cornfield and disappeared. After being arrested, Rivera suddenly changed his strategy and said that he didn't remember anything about that evening. It's possible that his lawyer told him to retract his previous confession. Rivera was charged on August 22nd. He pleaded not guilty at the trial that began on September 19th. The trial dragged on for 3 years, largely thanks to lawyers. Rivera's relatives hired 2 lawyers who tried with all their might to get an acquittal or get him the shortest possible sentence. All of America followed the trial. The point is that this crime was committed during Donald Trump's presidency. As many of you know, Trump advocated tougher immigration laws, and he has paid the most attention to Mexico. The Trump administration has taken full advantage of Rivera's crime. The sad fate of Mollie Tibbetts was cited as an example of why Trump's reforms were needed by America. At the same time, the girl's father was strongly opposed to the idea of his daughter being used in political disputes. But no one listened to her father. The story of this girl became well known throughout the country precisely in the context of immigration laws. After all, it's difficult to disagree that illegal immigrants are a danger when a case like that conveniently appears right there for everyone to witness. The pandemic also influenced the speed of the criminal trial, and only on May 17, 2021, began the main part of the hearings. Rivera continued to plead not guilty, but he had no chance. On May 28th, the court issued a verdict, guilty of murder in the first degree. Rivera got the maximum sentence for the state of Iowa, life imprisonment without parole. Now, he will spend many years in prison, supported by American taxpayers. Politics aside, the story of Mollie Tibbetts once again shows us the sad truth. Danger can await anyone in the most unexpected places, and no one is ever 100% safe. Be careful, take care of yourself, and thanks for watching.